Betut age ako kasarta age nekakituye tuwai eng tetutiet nebo Kass Mashinani nebo rani kosomok kasi tarik 21 arawet netai kenyitab 2026 konomite tuwai eng betutab raini kwane Bernard Tanoi ara itagat kitaune county noton nebo Nandi ole kitesetai kegere akobo logoiwek kotinygei ak yautiet noton kiibokyi asikarikab RDU neranik choton kiurereni urerietab pool eng taonitab Nandi Hills. Ole eng oret agenge nebo keger kele kakiyochi imanda bichotok kikinyalil akonyor biret kobun asikarik chotok bo RDU kokotoroch ketit eng kasarta nebo betusiek 3 anan saisiek 72 neran agenge eng taonitab Nandi Hills konerikyin yautionoto ole mochei ine kobit imanda. Kosubkei ak nerananatak kikuren Abel Kiplagat kotindoi kayanet kole wendi konyoru imanda bichoto kikibir ak kikoten ole kekoito kurset eng ribikab kalyet kokonyit imanda noton nebo biikab emet ak kounoto kotil ine kotoroch ketit eng saisiek choto ite 72 asikokon kasimchinet eng serikali koker kole kaipchi kakwautik asikarik choto bo RDU asikonyor imanda bichotok kinyor biret kobun asikarik chotok. Ko kinyoru report notok eng koindo kobun sirindenyo eng kebeberta nebo Nandi Hills Nelson Tarbei.
Koimongei nerananotok kekure Abel Kiplagat nenaat eng kainet ake ko Rospela nebo Jeiso akotoroch ketit eng taonitab Nandi Hills eng kasarta nebo betusiek 3 koboru ine kaimetabkei kotinygei ak kabokyinet nekibokyi askarikab RDU meng'ikab taonitab Nandi Hills kosubkei ak amune netomo kenai.
Kiyai makoset bichotok kobwa amu ingobwoni kokatuchkei kokertokochi kole sasa nguni makoi nai ak inyokomisan neranik chok kopirobir koumisan nimeanat kabisa. Sasa koamang'u akamang'u kwa senge Rospela nebo Jeiso akale awendi batorochi ketit betusiek 72 hours. Bitu age amu kiamwochi biik ing Nandi Hills yoto ami ketit atorochi ketit. Ko ki betunoto kimi angot MP Honorable Bernard Kitur koikanyo yotok alechi bichu ngonyone Bernard Kitur rani alechi roboni betunoto nyokounda tengekwokik chikiyai bichotok ak alechi in kamuktaindet kongoi ing ketonik chatoroch.
Kotoroch ine ketit eng saisiek choto 72 anan 72 hours nenotok ko betusiek 3 nemakitwaigei ole kamwa ine kole koui kot mising nito.
Kwatoroch ketit eng betusiek chotok 3 betut netai kiek challenge nea maraisi anyun ng'olionoto kwae koui mami kotyem lakwa nebo chi amu kiek challenge ane betut netai ingotou betunoto tai bas ko kwanyinyito ko mahali kole ako karibu saa 7 kemboyo. Lakini indaro keribo anyun amu kasinito ngiyoe komi security mi kila kitu makoi inuchi mewechigei metorechigei meyache no ming'ino meyache nao amakindoi kimoet asira mamandoi kimyo kit kityo neboisie kityo ko glucose ak beek.
Kosubkei ak alak eng meng'ikab Nandi Hills komanyal yautyonoto kiyai askarik choto bo RDU ole nyalu kekochi biikab emet boroindo koyai boisionik eng saisiek tugul.
Meche amwochi polisiek chotok alechi pool is a game netesetai akot sai komite Olympics. So makimeche ng'alek chebo primitivity chebwone biik ak nyokobirech bila sababu.
Taonit ninyon en Nandi Hills ni kokomo ketinyegei shida ak police kobate kityo kokitinye shida neo kinyoru ko biikab RDU chekobwa kong'ete emenwa akobwa nyokobiris eng taonit ni. Lakini from today ko kakedilkean kele makemeche ng'alek chotok ako yekakokwakan ketit werib kotar ng'alek biik kemeche kele kongoi.
Kasomeche kora kero kele kakikush kong lakwet ne werit eng mwaet kole chang neranik chewerik chematinye boisionik eng emet.
Na wale viongozi wote ningependa tulete vichwa pamoja kwa sababu ile shida tuko nayo sana ni unemployment kwa vijana wetu. Na ningependa kuambia wale viongozi wenye mko hapa wote kaeni chini, leave alone your differences, tukuje tusaidie vijana wapate kazi na tuweze kuendesha Kenya yetu mbele. Asanteni sana.
Kong'eteke kaunti nebo Nandi logoiwekab emet chebo Kass. Ainenyu ko Nelson Tarbei.
Ketesetai ko kakokoito kurset minista noton nebo ripsetab kalyet eng emet orit Kipchumba Murkomen koityi kandoik eng emet komugul kotoretkei ak ministry noton nebo somanet koker kole kachut grade 10 lagok tugul chekoyoe tiemutik choton chebo grade 9 asikobit kotestai ak somanet eng sukulishek choton chebo senior school. Kongololi eng kebeberta noton nebo Elgeyo Marakwet kokwetab Kasige eng Marakwet East eng igorta nebo konoretab bortab nego MCA nebo ward nebo Endo ward Jeremiah Kibiwot komwa Murkomen kole magat kochut sukul lagok tugul choto chebo grade 9 asikosulda tetutietab serikali noton nebo 100% transition eng emetab Kenya eng mwaet kole manyalu kotebi eng gaa kipsomaniat age tugul. Eng kasaratak kobarasta Murkomen kole kaketoi kebeberta ne inegei nebo asikarik chebendi kondochin boriet notok kitokchin eisetab mayek ak boisietab kerichekab bokitet chekamwa kole kiibu kerichekab bokitet kobun emotinwek chotok bo sang cheboto emetab Uganda ak kunotok kobendi asikarik chotok koyoe kit age tugul koker kole kakitonon mung'aranatak maiyanat ole kaitechi biik chotok tinyegei ak mung'arosiek chotok koistoegei anan kotuiyo ak ng'atutik. Kongekas akobo ng'alaletab Murkomen.
Hatuwezi kusonga mbele na bangi na pombe. And I'm so surprised kwamba nilifikiria bangi ni vitu ya huko town. Nimeshangaa nyinyi mnapanda bangi kwa hapa nyumbani. Na hiyo kwa sababu ya insecurity, ile watu walikuwa wamefungia huko Kerio, walikuwa wanapanda bangi huko, wanaingia huku ndani ya chepa huko ndani, wanaenda kupanda bangi. Sasa tumesema county commissioner is going to lead security team. Tunataka kumaliza bangi katika Kerio Valley na Elgeyo Marakwet County ishe yote, na ile pombe haramu. Hii pombe inaletwa kutoka Uganda, inapitishwa West Pokot, inafika hapa, inapitishwa Kitale, inafika Iten, inafika Eldoret. Sasa tumekubaliana kwamba kwa directive ya rais tutafanya specialized operation targeting commercial suppliers of adulterated alcohol na distributors first. We want to cut the supply. Ndio sasa to deal na wale watu wa consumption kwa sehemu hii. Na nakubaliana na governor, rais alitangaza akasema anataka tujenge rehabilitation center moja kwa kila county. Governor ya kwanza na rais akaniambia andikia barua all governors. Governor ya kwanza kujibu barua ni governor ya Elgeyo Marakwet County. Ako ameshanitumia barua yake. Sasa tunapanga na Department of Housing so that we build hiyo rehabilitation center ambayo tunasema kwamba we want to build it so that tusonge mbele kupitia irrigation ambayo itafanywa sehemu hii. Mambo ya masomo ni kitu ya maana sana. Mheshimiwa Rais anaendelea kutusupport kuhakikisha walimu wako katika mashule zetu. Na mimi nawaomba sana ya kwamba sisi wote tuhakikishe there is a full transition wa watoto wetu waende JSS to year 10. Na county commissioner is under our instructions wakifanya kazi na chiefs kuhakikisha kwamba watoto wote wenye wako nyumbani tumetafuta njia yoyote ya kuhakikisha kuna transition kutoka grade 9 to grade 10. Na tumekubaliana na MCAs wote wa Elgeyo Marakwet. Niliambia hawa waende ward zao watafute watoto wenye wako na shida, watoto 10 kwa kila MCA waniletee, nitalipa 10,000 for every child hapo kuhakikisha hao watoto. So MCAs sijapata list yenu na niliwaambia mlete haraka kabla watoto waende nyumbani. Itakuwa njia moja yenye mimi nitasaidia kuhakikisha we mop up watoto wenye ambao wangekuwa nyumbani hapa wange transit waende high school. Na pia we have to build our schools. We must make sure that watoto hao wanaenda hizi shule zetu ambayo tumejenga kwa hapa, ili tuhakikishe ya kwamba also the schools are being built so that we can carry out equitable issues related to education.
Kongololi en kasarta nekoindochi tuyetab konetisiet nebo temik anan field day en koito chebango en sub-county nebo Sotik en county.
Ketesetai kebendoi county noton nebo Bomet ole katestai kokimit ministry noton nebo kabatisiet kubun sirindet neo anan principal secretary Dr. Paul Rono kole tesetai serikali ak tetutik chebo ibunetab walet eng sekta nebo chaik eng tokyinet kityo nebo keker kele kanyor melekto nemite barak kabatikab chaik kong'ololi eng kasarta nekorutechi kebeberwek cheterter eng county nebo Bomet, komwa ine kole kikotestai konyor asenet neo kabatik kobun lipanetab melekwokik chemite ng'weny kobun aliet noto nebo chaik nekotestai kwo ng'weny koboto kandoinatet neya nebo KTDA netomo kotoret kabatik kou ole magat ak kounoto kotesetai walutik chotok asi kesor kabatik ak keker kele kawo barak sekta noto nebo chaik eng emoni. Akot kounoto kocher Dr. Rono kabatik kochopchigei kolsetab chaik yerik kasartab kolset eng arawetab 4 eng mwaet kole tesetai serikali koroptoi mbolea cheboisien kabatik kounoto komagat kochopchigei komie kabatik kasarta noto nebo kolset. Ko ngenyoru report notok kobun sirindenyo eng county nebo Bomet, Festus Rono.
Nebo Bomet komwa PS nebo kabatisiet en emoni Dr. Paul Rono kole kikobun uinwek temikab chaik en emoni kosubkei ak kandoinatet nebo KTDA noton tesentai kalititet.
Crown ya majani chai vile siasa inaendelea ndani ya KTDA sio mzuri. Tukapata ya kwamba majani chai imetumika kuwa collateral ya kuchukua loan na majani chai ya mkulima. Hata unachukua loan unalipa mkulima. Pesa ilienda wapi? Ingine tukapata ya kwamba account ya factory, pesa ya kila factory haingii kwa factory account, inaingia kwa general account ya KTDA. Badala ya kuingia kwa factory, ili directors of the factory waone exchange rate ngapi, wapatie exact amount ili mkulima apate haki. Lakini inaingia kwa wapi? General account.
Kosubkei ak PS Rono komawekse let en chikilisiet ak chengetab imanit en sekta nebo chaik asikonyor kelchinoik temik.
Juzi niliandikia barua kuform and kustructure those membership. Wanaanza kuenda kotini, sijui wengine naona wako Kisumu wananisomea, wengine wako huko Central wananisomea, ati PS ameingilia, ati PS atoke, sijui PS anataka siasa. Ninasema KTDA shape out of shape. Your time is up. We have 680, almost 800,000 voters, small scale farmers. Now you cannot tell us that government cannot come in to check, verify, and make sure that the farmers get their rightful share in the earning.
Kacher Rono meng'ikab county nebo Bomet kochopchigei kolsetab kawek ole nyoru keswek kobun serikalitab emoni.
Lakini April walbiri ngoni nguni kibu seedlings ready naone amuni kichukutane 8 months, lakini April tuko ground hapa, kila kichana everybody kama ni mtu ya kawa anza kuchimba mashimo, alafu April tutapeana seedlings uanze kupanda. Yaka zusige April huko mimi siasa kutika sitendo ni ngalo wale siasa mkutano na kuisha kimwegele imimbare.
En kasaratak ko kaindochi katiaktaetab katoldoleiwek kinuok 35,000 en serious nebo sotik koityi cherongo nebo emoni asikotoret temik.
Vile fertilizers tumekakua na tuko na mbolea mzuri. Tayari tumeleta mbolea ya kutosha kwa hii mwaka. Mbolea imeanza na itakuwa 12.2 million bags. Na tayari karibu milioni 4 imefika Kenya. Na ukienda hapa Sotik utaona malori. Ukienda Bomet malori. Inasafirisha mbolea. Kwa kila siku tuko na malori karibu 200 kwa barabara. Kusafirisha mbolea na mbegu.
En komostanyin komwa MP nebo Sotik Ambassador Francis Gay kole magat kalitetetab Kipsonoi Settlement Scheme asikistoengei uinwek chebune biik chenomu mbarenik choton boisien en kabatisiet.
Kokokisom kele keweben interest chombo settlement scheme, lakini kokemwa kain kele kora matkeweiben choto kotinye loan en koroni kesom head of state kosto tugul sikonget biikab koroni uruiyo ara kikisto chebo kawek en yuno ako tom kisto chebo yu so amache imwani president tunganyo koroni amwachini.
Kamiten PS Rono koboto County MP nebo Bomet Linda Chepkorir Toto, nominated Senator Joyce Korir, MP nebo Baringo South Charles Kamuren, ole koikochi PS chemung'arainikab siretab chebole umbrelaishek asikotoret ichek en boisietab mung'aret. Kong'eten county nebo Bomet, logoiwekab emet chebo Kass, kainenyun ko Festus Rono.
Kongetoben akobo logoiwek chetesetai eng nguno ole tesetai chamaitab UDA kokonu logoiyot kotinygei ak lewenisietab chama netesetai eng kebeberwek cheterter chebo emet koboto tetutik alak chebo bolotet yekitokyingei lewenisiet neo nenyonei ole neng'ololi eng nguno ko sirindet neo nebo chamainoto bo UDA Hassan Omar kokunotok eng Kass kit nemwae
na watu kutoka zile bunge za kata ndogo ndani ya taifa la Kenya ambao utakuwa wiki ijayo tarehe 26 Jumatatu saa 2 kamili katika ikulu ya Nairobi ukiwa utakuwa chaired na party leader His Excellency William Ruto. Hapo tutaangalia ama tutajadili ile hatua ambazo zimepigwa katika kuhakikisha tumetekeleza manifesto ya chama chetu ambayo kwa maarufu tunaita the plan ama the bottom up economic transformation agenda. Vile vile tutapata kwa mara ya pili kwa manufaa ya viongozi wote zile party grassroots elections report ambayo itajadiliwa pia kuangaliwa vipi tutaweza kusonga mbele na masuala ya uchaguzi na kuimarisha chama katika pembe zote za taifa la Kenya. La tatu pia ambalo ni la muhimu, tutaidhinisha yale maazimio ya baraza kuu la National Executive Committee ya UDA ambayo imemuidhinisha mkuu wa chama ama kiongozi wa chama His Excellency William Ruto kuanza mawasiliano ama mjadala maalum kwa namna ambazo na chama cha ODM ambapo utaweza kuhakikisha tumejiandaa vilivyo katika uchaguzi unaokuja wa 2027. La mwisho, kuna wale ambao watawania viti mbalimbali katika maandalizi yetu ya mwaka ujao ya August 2027, na kumekuwa na Wakenya wengi wawaniaji wengi wa viti tofauti katika taifa la Kenya ambao wamewasiliana na chama, wamewasiliana na viongozi wa chama, na tumesema kwa ajili ya kuhakikisha tumeanza kuleta vuguvugu la hawa wawaniaji wa hivi viti tofauti, tutaanzisha platform ama forum ambayo tutaita UDA Aspirants Forum, ambapo itawajumlisha wote wale ambao wanawania viti tofauti kutoka ugavana hadi members of the county assembly, ambao pia utakuwa na kikao chao kwa vile tunajua katika hao ndio watakuwa viongozi watakaoibuka katika uchaguzi unaokuja. Tutakuwa na kikao na rais ambaye ni mkuu wa chama tarehe 4 Februari mwezi ujao, vile katika ikulu kuanzia saa 2. Kwa hivyo tunawahimiza wote, tunawahamasisha wote ambao wako na azma kutetea viti tofauti kupitia chama ambacho ndio maarufu kabisa ndani ya Kenya na kimejipanga zaidi kupitia UDA waweze kwenda katika hiyo mtandao wetu. Utakuwa na portal hapo ya usajili ili waweze kujiandikisha kama wagombea kupitia chama cha UDA mwaka wa 27 ama next year. Imani Shungwa.
Thank you, Manu. Just to add first that we are very happy that in spite of the many disputes that were presented before the Disputes Tribunal, the Tribunal and the National Elections Board were very magnanimous to make sure that we are accommodative of all interest groups and stakeholders in the party. And that is why NEC and the National Steering Management Committee, under the able leadership of the President, we resolved yesterday that it is only fair that we accord all those who have expressed interest to run for elective positions at the grassroots level an opportunity to do that through the repeat elections in the select polling stations that had disputes. Two, is to state that our party being a very accommodative and all-inclusive party, one where we do not want to leave anyone behind. We also resolved that we need to give all our members in the National Governing Council, that is all our elected leaders, a midterm report on the implementation of our manifesto. You will remember that we have stated before that under the able leadership of President Ruto and in our implementation of the plan, which was our manifesto, we did indicate that we would implement this plan, comma to full stop, paragraph by paragraph, and page to page. And those who have been very keen will see that all the government programs that we are rolling out, whether it is rollout of the infrastructure fund, all these are things that were in our manifesto. And therefore, we want to update our leaders, right from the grassroots in terms of our MCAs, all the way to governors on where we are on the implementation of this plan. Two, as I said, being an inclusive party, we want to make sure that all our leaders and all our party organs are involved in the process that we did mandate the party leader under the NEC organ, mandated him to engage with ODM in structured negotiations to make sure that as we go to the 2027 elections, we have a party, one that has proper governance structures and whose mandate comes from the people, right from the grassroots. And two, that as we strongly believe, this party, the Kenya Kwanza Coalition, is a party that is forming government after next year's elections. But we have invited our colleagues in ODM under the broad-based government. We have had a very good working arrangement with them. We have listened to them as they engaged in their National Steering Committee meeting and the resolutions that they have passed as a party. And we welcome and accommodate what they have said. And that is why we mandated the party leader to constructively engage with them. And we want to take that decision now from NEC to the next party organ, which is the NGC. And we will be taking that to the NGC on Monday next week under the chairmanship of the President, State House on Monday. As I said, we don't want to leave anyone behind. Many of the people who have lodged complaints regarding our grassroots elections are thousands. In fact, I must commend the National Elections Board and the Dispute Resolution Tribunal for the many hours that they have put in to try and resolve many of these disputes. And many of those disputes were lodged by leaders who aspire to run for either MCA, governor, members of parliament seats, and including two who have also expressed interest to run on UDA for the position of president. And therefore, all those people, we do not want anybody to feel that they are being left behind, and that is why we resolved that as early as now, we want to register all of them so that those who have interest in running for positions on UDA and Kenya Kwanza can register, and we will engage with them again under the leadership of the party leader the other Monday, as has been mentioned in this communique. Na asanteni sana.
So to provide clarity on what exactly the UDA party is trying to achieve is that it is our desire to have an elected party official at each of the 27,277 polling centers across the country. We know it's a big desire, but we are bullish about it. Remember, the UDA party is a record-setting political party. We are the only political party post the new constitution that has at least an elected official in 41 out of 47 counties. We want to grow that number. It is our desire that in 2027, we shall have an elected official, either an MCA, member of parliament, governor, in each of our 47 county governments. And the only way that you can achieve that is by having party officials at the grassroots. And that's why we are doing this exercise quite meticulously. It is a big ask for the National Election Board and the various members that are involved in this exercise. But we believe that if you want to offer a good product to the Republic, then you have to do it right. And this is the only way. We appreciate that up to this far, members of our party have participated quite actively. There have been all the complaints that have been raised, and we believe we are getting it better. We did phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Now we are going for phase 4 on the 7th of March and phase 5 on the 28th of March. We believe in each of those sessions, we shall be getting better at it, so that at the end of it, on the 28th of March in the evening, UDA as a party will have polling center officials in all the 27,277 polling centers across the country. No other party has ever done that, but we believe we can do it because that's who we are. Last thing that I want to say is that we appreciate the partnership that we have set out so far, going to 2 years now, with our partners, the ODM party and the affiliates parties of the Kenya Kwanza coalition. But we must prepare for the next phase of elections. And this is the time, because you know that in a little bit of slightly over a year, we shall be having party primaries, then subsequently the general elections in August of next year. And that's why we are setting this aspirants forum, so that anybody who wants to run for any position that is available within using the UDA political party has an opportunity to be had. And that is a forum that is being provided on the 4th of February 2026 at State House, Nairobi. So thank you very much. We wish you well.
So we'll take a very few questions if there are any. Yeah. That's one. Number two, that will be fielded by Kimani and Aaron. Yeah.
Chris Owino from Movie TV. Still on the matter of that UDA election part. Will this mean that the other Kenya Kwanza coalition of affiliate parties will sign a new or fresh agreement with UDA, or they'll be left behind?
That will be fielded by the chair. And the last one? That's it. Okay.
So just to respond is that, you know, negotiations are negotiations. You go with what you feel is rightfully yours, and the other parties also will come. The 10-point agenda has given us a basis for working with the ODM. We have achieved some of the proposals that were made therein. In fact, if I'm not wrong, this afternoon, the committee on the implementation of the 10-point agenda has actually a meeting with the party leader of the UDA party and the leader of the Kenya Kwanza coalition to bring him up to speed on what has been achieved so far and what is still pending. So that has given us the foundation, the place to start. But we believe that there is more that we can achieve if we build on that particular foundation. Therefore, it is not a separate arrangement. It is building on what already has been achieved on the 10-point agenda alongside other things.
So, Kimani.
I think there's nothing more important to add, Tenges. On the 10-point agenda, as my colleague has said, this afternoon, indeed, that committee will be briefing His Excellency the President. I had an engagement myself with them last December. I think they also met with the leader of the Senate. They met with the leader of the minority in the Senate and the leader of minority in the National Assembly. And therefore, we're on course on the implementation of the 10-point agenda. And they will be briefing the President this afternoon on where they are in terms of that. But our engagements with our colleagues and brothers in ODM go beyond the 10-point agenda. As I mentioned, it is our intent to be an all-inclusive party and coalition that brings everybody on board and all Kenyans on board. And therefore, we look forward to working with ODM even into the next elections next year. Therefore, the engagements that we will have with them and the negotiations we have mandated the President to engage them on go beyond the 10-point agenda into an arrangement on how we get into the 2027 elections, forming the government that I said we are very confident, since we have a clear vision, clear agenda on what we want to implement for the people of Kenya. That is why we are confident, even as we come together to brief our members and the country on where we are in implementation of the agenda or of the plan.
Says we can.
As this negotiation goes on, I think it's important to say that the pacts that we have with our partners within the larger Kenya Kwanza coalition remain intact and very valid. We cannot go to look for new partners and lose the old ones. And I think the president has been very clear on the need to unite the nation. And so in that effort, we are reaching out to everybody. So let it be known that the Kenya Kwanza partners remain the partners of UDA and very important partners, and that nothing will change. And as we move on towards the general election, I'm sure we are going to see a lot happening towards that unification process, and we are very committed. And it's important also, I say, that the UDA party has worked very hard to facilitate the committee that oversights the implementation of the 10-point agenda. And so we are not just involved at the executive level, but also as a party, we are monitoring on a day-to-day to ensure that we stay true to the 10-point agenda, because our unity, our coalition, our partnership must be based on real issues that affect Kenyans and not just, people coming together for the sake of it. So thank you very much. May I say that the National Elections Board, it's important to say that the National Governing Council on Monday will also include members elected on the ANC party that merged with UDA. They'll be part of our meeting on Monday. And then let me also, and the friends of the party. We have observers, we also have some members at the National Assembly, the county assemblies who are part of the Kenya Kwanza. They'll also come as observers to that meeting on Monday. And then let me add by saying that the National Elections Board will give a detailed program of activities towards the grassroots elections by close of the day tomorrow on what will happen on the 7th and the activities that must happen before the 7th and what will happen on 28th and the activities that must happen before the 28th. We want UDA party to be the one party that has a wide reach across the entire nation. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Asante.
Kochoto ko ofisek cheechen chebo chamaitab UDA kondochin sirindet neo Hassan Omar koboto nebo ng'echeret Cecil Mbarire ak majority leader eng bunge tuwai noto nebo Senate ak National Assembly noto ko Aaron Cheruyot nebo Senate ak inendet Kimani Ichung'wah noto nebo National Assembly ole kakoaror akobo tuguk cheterter mising ko ng'alalutik chetesetai eng kwenutab chamaitab UDA ak chamaitab ODM ole tokchingei ichek kowo ng'alalutik chotok asikoityi koshinet nebo kobois eng kibagenge eng chopchinetab gei nebo lewenisiet neo nekiyoe eng kenyitab 2027. Kakong'alale ichek kora akobo koyonchinet noto nebo 10-point agenda noto kiityi kandoindet neki kandoindet noto nebo chamaitab ODM Raila Odinga ak President William Ruto ole kamwa kole ng'alalutik choto tesetai eng chamait noto nebo eng kwenutab UDA ak ODM kotobeni mising akobo koyonchinet noto bo 10-point agenda ole eng kasarata ko ng'alale akobo tetutik choto chebo chamaitab UDA cheboto lewenisiet noto kiyoe eng komoswek chebo gaa anan grassroots elections ole kamwa kole tesetai lewenisionotok ole kamwa kole eng polling stations tugul eng emet ko matun kotindoi ofisayat noto nebo chamaitab UDA nekileweni ole tesetai tetutik ak kowonge lewenisionoto bo chama eng tarik 28 arawetab somok kenyini. Ko ngebe kamung'et kitigin asiyekiwege ketestai ak tetutiet nebo Kass Mashinani.